Welcome to the Sporting Mindset Show. I'm your host, Dwayne Nestor. This podcast is all about helping athletes, coaches, and parents better understand the mental side of performance. Most of us have come across goal setting at some point in our lives, whether it's in work, sport, or even personal development. We've all heard about the importance of setting goals. And if your child is involved in sport, they're going to hear about goals constantly as they progress through their sporting career. Score this many goals, make this state team, improve your rankings, qualify for nationals, run a certain time, hit a certain average. Goals are everywhere. And to be fair, goals can be incredibly powerful. They give direction, they create purpose, they help athletes focus on something meaningful. But here's the part that often gets missed. Goals are only valuable if the behaviours that follow actually support them. Because setting a goal is the easy part. The hard part is consistently doing all the little things required to achieve it. And this is where parents can have a huge influence. Not by taking over the goal, not by putting pressure on the child, but by helping them create a process around success. You see, sitting down and saying, I want to make the state team next year is pretty simple. It rolls off the tongue easily. What's harder is helping a young athlete understand what do they actually need to do every single week to give themselves a chance of achieving that. Because that's where the growth happens. So if you're helping your child with goals, the first step is to define the goal clearly. Write it down. Give it a timeline, make it measurable, and make it challenging, but still realistic enough that it feels achievable. Once you've done that, the really important work begins. And one process I really like is breaking goals into 6 key areas. And the first one is actions. What are the actual behaviours, skills, or habits needed to achieve the goal? And we'll use a golfer as an example. If they want to improve their putting accuracy, what do they need to do to work on it? And maybe it might be relaxing their shoulders, improving the feel with the putter, developing a smoother backswing and follow through, or learning to read greens better, or just simply learning to improve their mental focus before each putt. The goal becomes much clearer once you identify the actual actions required. The second area is needs. What do they need in order to develop those skills? And this could be extra sessions with a coach or just simply more practice time. It could mean having training equipment at home or mental skills work or simply having time set aside consistently for practice. Sometimes athletes know what they want, but they haven't thought through what resources or support they actually need to get there. The third area is obstacles, and this is really important because life will always get in the way at some point. So instead of waiting for problems to appear, be proactive and ask, what could potentially disrupt my progress? And maybe the coach will be away for a few weeks. Maybe school gets really busy, or maybe motivation drops during winter. Maybe it could be transport just becomes difficult. And then they need to ask themselves, how can I plan ahead for that? And maybe it might be by organising online coaching sessions. It might be adjusting schedules or creating backup routines. The more prepared you are for obstacles, the easier it is to stay consistent when challenges arise. The fourth area is motivation. Because let's not kid ourselves, there will be days when your child won't feel like doing the work. And that is absolutely normal. So instead of pretending motivation will always magically appear, have them prepare for those moments ahead of time. Maybe they could have a favourite pump-up music playlist ready, or a quote or an affirmation, maybe a mentor they can call, or some highlights videos, maybe a reminder simply of the goal and why it matters to them. The key is having strategies ready before the motivation disappears. And importantly, this shifts parents away from nagging. Instead of saying, come on, you need to train, you just remind them of the motivator they already chose for themselves. The fifth area is promote it. Encourage your child to say the goal out loud. Tell friends, tell family, just share it with people they trust. Because when goals stay trapped in someone's head, accountability can disappear pretty quickly. But when other people know about the journey, those people can become part of the support system. They encourage, they check in, they celebrate progress. Suddenly, your child doesn't feel like they're chasing the goal alone. And finally, the sixth area is reward. The biggest reward should always be the satisfaction of growth and achievement itself. However, having something tangible to celebrate success can also be powerful. Like, for instance, the golfer. Maybe they buy themselves a new putter once they achieve their putting target. It could simply be a special experience that they go and do. Maybe it's something symbolic that recognises the work put in. Celebrating that success matters because it reinforces the value of the effort and the persistence. Now, the important thing is that this process doesn't need to be perfect straight away. You certainly don't need a 40-page high-performance plan sitting at the kitchen table. But simply going through this process creates clarity. And more importantly, when you help your child work through these things, it shows them that you're invested in the journey with them. You're not controlling it. You're not owning it. You're just simply supporting it. You become someone they can bounce ideas off. You can be that person who helps them problem solve. You can be someone who stays beside them as they grow. Over time, as both of you get better at the process, the detail improves. And with greater clarity and detail usually comes greater confidence, because your child starts to feel like they're genuinely doing everything they can to give themselves a chance of succeeding. Thanks for joining me on the Sporting Mindset Show. I hope today's conversation has given you something to think about. One thing we certainly know is that mindset matters. So as you move through your week, just have a little bit of reflection. What mindset are you bringing into your coaching, your parenting, or just simply your everyday life? If you've enjoyed this episode, please follow or subscribe, share it with someone who might find it useful, and be part of a community that values growth, learning, and high performance done the right way. I'm Dwayne Nestor, and this has been the Sporting Mindset Show.